Alright, so we got another Killer B product. Let's find out what it is. So, the reason why I got this is because I helped them out with the Killer B AOS video. It's nicely packaged. We got here a Killer B Motorsport Hydro Flask. That's pretty awesome. Show you that real quick. Get all this off. Man, I'm gonna love this. I've got a shirt, large, hey, perfect size. And another one, engineered as fuck. The preview of what's to come. We got some hoses here and a bracket. Let's put that aside. Okay, and we've come to the final piece. Here we go. So this is the Killer B dual reservoir tank. It houses both your coolant overflow as well as the windshield washer tank. Alright, so here's all the items out of the box as it comes shipped. Now we've got the dual reservoir itself, a couple hose assemblies, a steel bracket, 12mm bolt, zip tie, and a Killer B Motorsport sticker. Just taking a closer look at the unit. We've got the ubiquitous Killer B logo that appears on every single product they make. Some nice quality welds everywhere. Made of aluminum. I want to say 6061. Feels like it. Alright, so on this side, if you look at it here, in the background we've got the windshield washer tank side. We've got the little lanyard here for the lid of the windshield washer tank. There's a hook here for the lanyard of the coolant overflow. There's where your overflow hose goes. The sight gauge, which is 1/8 NPT, already threaded in. You don't have to worry about it. So we've got some hoses, which I believe is for your windshield washer. You're going to transfer your grommet over here, hook it up, and I think you hook your pump over here, which is gravity fed. This other hose assembly is for GRs because they have two windows, front and back, that needs wiping. So we've got two motors here, or two pumps that's going to be mounted here in parallel, and it tees off just like that. So you're going to put two pumps there. I guess this bracket holds the pumps in place in your wheel well. Same for the zip tie, and you've got your bolt. I want to say that cinches it down here somewhere. Pretty simple. I haven't seen any instructions online. I've seen pictures of it, so I'm going to take a guess at how to mount this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're under the hood. This is what we'll be replacing. Just a disclaimer that if you are still running the air pump, it may not clear the Killer B version because it's a little on the girthy side, and you'll run into issues with hitting the air pump. So some of you have seen that I've removed my turn signal as well as the fog light, and that this is open. But for you to remove your windshield washer reservoir, you have to remove your whole bumper. But just to give you guys an idea of what it looks down there without it, there's a bunch of mounting points, like that 10mm bolt that's still there. That's one of the hidden ones. There is a 10mm nut section right there that I've already attached the bracket to, and there's a whole bunch of other mounting points. So all you gotta do to remove your windshield washer reservoir is to just give it a shake, see where it gets stuck at, and remove hardware, as necessary. Also, the connector I've stowed away for a while is right here, so I tucked that out of the way because I removed it. And also the hose for the fluid was zip tied and tucked away over here, so I'm going to be reusing that again. For this particular application, we're just going to keep two things from the original washer reservoir. So it'll be the lid and a single motor. So for you hatch owners, you might have two, but I'm not going to cover hatch things because I don't have a hatch. But you guys can figure it out, as I've shown you some of the hints that you may have when running two motors. Okay, before we start putting the parts together and throwing in the car, we want to do a leak check. And although Killer B probably had their own quality controls, you just want to cover your ass and, you know, try to mimic the actual scenarios by putting fluid in there and see if it does leak. Remove the grommet off the washer pump. We're going to install it on the elbow here. This is where it's going to mount directly under the reservoir. So what you're going to do is you're going to shove it all the way down until it's flush or past that. And they added this hose as a spacer so it won't go past the lip. Okay, and then we're going to take the reservoir and we're going to shove it in there. So it should be a nice tight fit. Fill up with water on both sides and see what happens. First side is the washer reservoir. That has turn the water off. So the main area of concern is down here. Looks like it's not leaking. Let me try do some wiggling because the car does move, right? And you're subjected to all kinds of vibrations. And probably shift it too if I wanted to. Okay, looks like so far no leaks. Okay, so I'm going to dump it and do the other side. Just a side note, I did a little wiggle test while it was installed and it did leak a little bit, so I put a thin layer, or actually I put a heat shrink on there before I put the grommet on, and it should provide a little bit of girth to fill the voids that made it leak. So just a quick tip. Alright, the area of concern for this is this tube here. Make sure it doesn't leak at the threads, at the pivot points, and at the hose. Right, this is one place you don't want leaks from because it's your coolant, it's your overflow. You're going to get a big leaky mess. Give it a good shake, a good tug, and I think it's ready. And another thing is you want to probably not put dirty water in there because this is just faucet water. Probably want to wash it down with some distilled water or deionized water one last time just to get all the impurities out, because you don't want all these impurities, especially on the coolant side, going in your engine. Alright, so now to removing this stock one, coolant reservoir, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this hose out. And then we're going to just put it in here just in case we get a little residual coming on, which we did. It's a drip right there. So just throw this down here. And then this is toolless, so all you got to do is pry this away. There's a pull tab. It's got a, there we go. Just move it away from this right here. There's a little nipple that goes through. And then just slide it out and pull up. That's it. Here's the comparison of the two next to each other, so you can see why that if you had your air pump, that this would be in the way, because look how much thicker it is. Sorry for my hand, my one-handed operation here, but here is how much fluid I had left. Alright, you can see where it starts to say full, kind of coincides with the hose there. So it'll probably read like right at the beginning of where that fitting starts, but you can have a little more. It's always good to have a little extra just in case your cooling system needs to purge, have somewhere to go to. However, it's larger capacity, so it's good. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer all the caps over. So this is just a pinch off. You pinch on these tabs here, pull it out the original one. We're going to do the same. We're going to pinch it and it should pop right in. There we go, and on goes the cap. Now for this part here, there's a little nipple here that won't even hold because it's too huge. However, this goes on well, So what I'm going to do is just cut this booger off nice and clean. Go. You don't need that no more. Just get it all nice. Okay, and then it should pop right on. Okay, so that's the cap part, and let's go ahead and put it in. Okay, so putting it back in is reversal of how we took it out. So we got the hose here. I removed the pump. Then there's a gap between your under tray and the side of where the hole for your behind your bumper or fog covers is. So we can go ahead and guide that in. Reach that guy. Alright, so got it going down. Okay, let's get it positioned. And here we go. This side in first. Left side going in. And this hole right here goes onto that tab. Just go ahead and pop it right in. Hopefully it fits. If they got their measurements right, it should pop right in. There we go. And it's installed. Or mounted, should I say. The next thing is remove the overflow hose from your catch here, your makeshift catch, and just shove it right in. Just feed it through. Okay, there we go. And then you can go ahead and replace however many fluid you did have in there so you won't be low on it. Good old green stuff. Down on the bottom, here's the hose leading from the reservoir itself. Alright, so I cut it a little short, put a 90-degree elbow there from the included fittings, and then got it near, I guess more near the inner tire well, and then connected the connector there. That's as far as it could reach, and then the hose is super long. So I'm going to try mess around with this, make it cleaner, but this is just a general idea of how to hook it up. And you want it lower than the reservoir because this pump is needs to be fed by gravity. Alright, it's been about 2 days since I've had this reservoir. I've been running it and it's been leak free, no issues. And as you can see down there, there's the fluid, nothing leaking. Windshield washer works fine. I have water again. And that's about it. I mean, it's a simple piece of equipment that is really functional as far as adding parts around the car where you need space. I have this right now. It's in its test phases. I got it disconnected. It's a radium catch can. However, if I were to run a front mount, wink wink, the piping would go down here this way, and that's why you need this reservoir, because it's going to take up all that space down there where the piping goes. If you guys like what you see, like and subscribe. See you guys later.